It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
This next question is from Nick. And Nick says, my wife just quit her job and started her own business. Congratulations. That's an exciting thing. What are the best options for retirement savings without going through an employer? So again, one of the things you lose when you start a small business is some of the benefits that came with that with your former employer, health insurance and retirement plan, all that kind of stuff. So Brian, why don't you walk through, there's sort of like a pecking order. Like I feel like every small business owner does, okay, this, and then this, and then this, and then this. Why don't you kind of walk through some of the retirement options available?
Yeah, the easiest thing, everybody, because what happens is you do your taxes, your CPA or your whoever's helping you try to find additional deductions goes, man, you made money last year. Good for you. Do you want to lower your taxes? And you're like, yeah, I'd love to lower my taxes. And they're like, well, why don't you do a SEP IRA? Because it lets you go backwards in time. You can set up a SEP IRA all the way up until like October, the filing extension deadline of October 15th. You're like, hot diggity dog. I'm going to jump right into that. So SEP IRA is usually the first step for somebody who's creating their own income. It used to be simple IRAs was the next stop. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you could potentially skip simple IRAs because now we have solo 401ks. As long as you don't have any employees, solo 401ks are really powerful because they give you all the benefits of a SEP IRA, meaning you get the profit sharing, all the funding from the employer, but you also get to do salary deferrals just like your traditional jobs do. You can do the $19,500 of salary deferral plus the profit sharing. Solo 401ks are outstanding. The problem with is they have to be set up prior to year end. You don't get the Back to the Future time travel option of going backwards like SEPs do. But there's also a problem with solo 401ks is that because it sounded like your wife might have had other income from other sources or have an employer that in the same tax year. You need to be careful because you can only do one salary deferral or one limit on the 415 limits of $19,500. But the profit sharing, fortunately, you still can potentially overlap those things, but that's where it gets a little complicated. And then once you add employees, you're probably going to go traditional 401k and do the whole, spit and match where you can do Roth, you can do traditional, you can do match. There's all kind of things that go into that, but you also have to do testing and so forth because solo 401ks are only as good up to $250,000 before they waive the $5,500 and all the annual requirements.
And the good news about retirement plans is that they can change over time. You can start with a SEP IRA and then you can move to it's not like because you pick one plan, you have to stay with that plan for the remainder of your business. You always have the ability to upgrade in future coming years. And then don't forget about the easy stuff. You can still do, depending on your income situation and also depending on the availability of retirement accounts for the spouse, you can look at just regular IRAs, whether it be the traditional IRA side or the Roth IRA side. Again, a really good time to start planning for this is before tax time because there are some things you can do in the current year where you don't have your time machine and some things you do have a time machine. But that's a great question and kudos to her. That's an exciting thing to be starting a small business. We wish her extreme success.